Welcome to the Challenge 5 extension. In Challenge 5, we wrote a program to repeatedly read and display temperature values using a for loop. In the Challenge 5 extension, we will store the temperature values and the time of each reading into list variables for later analysis. Look at the Challenge 5 extension in the Digital Mood Ring by Challenges document. Note, storing temperature readings for later analysis is not required for the final Digital Mood Ring challenge. The Challenge 5 extension will have a lot of similarities to the Challenge 5 program. Let's insert a page with a program editor and a new program. Type C5E as the program name for Challenge 5 extension and press Enter. Let's connect temperature sensor number 1 to input port 1 as in our previous program. Press Enter to complete the command. Now we will define two list variables to store our results. List variables are a set of values. On the TI-Nspire, list variables are represented by values separated by commas enclosed by braces, also known as curly brackets. In this case, we will create a list for time values named time and a list for temperature values named temp. Let's start by defining the list variable time. Type time on a blank row. Then enter the := symbol by pressing Ctrl followed by the math expressions template key. := is called the assign statement, and it is used to store values to a variable on the TI-Nspire. We will set up time as an empty list by leaving a blank space in between the braces. Press Ctrl right paren for a pair of braces. Press right arrow to move beyond the braces. Press Enter to complete the command. Now, set up temp as an empty list by following similar steps. Type temp. Enter the assign symbol by pressing Ctrl::. Then press Ctrl right paren to enter braces. Right arrow to move beyond the braces. Press Enter to complete the command. We have defined two lists ready to be filled with values when the for loop runs. Setting up variables with initial values at the beginning of the program gives us a known starting point for the rest of the program. Let's set up a for loop to repeat the set of commands to read, display, and store temperature and time of reading values. Press Menu, Control, then select for and for. We will use n as the counter variable. We will loop from 1 to 10. Press Enter to complete the command. Now, let's put in the pair of commands to read and get values from temperature sensor number 1. Press Menu, 8 for hub, 2 for read, 6 for temperature, and 1 for temperature sensor number 1. Now menu, 8 for hub, 5 for get, then enter T as the variable to put the temperature value that was just read into. Press enter to complete the command. Let's enter a disp@at command to display the value of time in seconds for a cycle of the loop based on the loop counter variable n and the loop cycle time of approximately 0.5 seconds. Menu, 6 for I/O, 2 for disp@, then enter the row as 3, comma, then enter time equal, control multiply for quotes, right arrow to move beyond the quote, comma, n multiplied by 0.5, comma, control multiply for quotes again, then SEC for seconds. Press enter to complete the command. As in challenge 5 on row 4, we will display the value of the temperature with a label before of temperature equal and a label after of degrees C. Menu, 6 for input output, 2 for disp@, 4 for the row, comma, control multiply for quotes, right arrow to move beyond the quotes, comma, T for the variable with the temperature value, comma, control multiply, then find the degree symbol on the key with the question mark in the lower right of the keyboard. Shift C for Celsius. Press enter to complete the command. Now we will capture time and temperature values in lists. You can store to specific positions in lists by using the list name followed by the position number in brackets. In this case, we will store to the position defined by the current value of the for loop counter variable n. So the first time through the loop, we will store to the first position. The second time through the loop, we will store to the second position, and so on. Type time, then control left paren for brackets. Type n as the position of the temp list that we will be storing to. Right arrow to move beyond the brackets. Type control : equal to assign a value to the variable temp. The value for the time to store will be n multiplied by 0.5, just as we computed in the disp@at command above. Press enter to complete the command. We will do a similar process to store the value in variable t to the nth position of the list variable temp. Type temp, control left paren for brackets, Type N as the position of the temp list that we will be storing to. Right arrow to move beyond the brackets. Type Control equal to assign a value to the variable temp. Type T as the variable value that we will be storing. Press Enter to complete the command. Finally, we will add a wait command that controls the cycle time of the loop. In this case, we will wait 0.5 seconds. Menu, 8 for hub, 4 for wait, 0.5. Press Enter to complete the command. We now have a program that connects a temperature sensor and creates 2 empty lists to store values. Then runs a loop 10 times. In each cycle of the loop, the temperature sensor will be read and the value will be stored to the list variable temp. And the time of the reading will be calculated and stored to the list variable time. Let's see what happens. Press Ctrl R to store and paste the program to a calculator app. Press Enter to run the program. You can use the list variables that the program created in a calculator app. Press the var key for variables to see a menu of the variables in the document. Down arrow until you see time and temp. Select time by pressing Enter. Press Enter again to evaluate the variable. You will see the values in the list. Let's evaluate the temp list variable. This time, because we know the variable name, we can just type the name. Type temp. Press Enter to evaluate the entry. Let's look at the value in the third position of the temp list. Type temp. Control left paren for brackets. Enter 3 for the third position. Press Enter to evaluate. Finally, to see a graph of the data, let's add a Data and Statistics app. Press Control Page to create a new page in the document. Then select Add a Data and Statistics app. Use the touchpad to move the pointer to the x-axis, then center click. Select time as the variable. Use the touchpad to move to the y-axis, then center click. Select temp as the variable. You will now see a graph of the data. You may want to explore by rerunning the program. Go back to the calculator app and choose C5E from the var key menu. You could also edit the C5E program to collect more data points by changing the final value of the for loop to a larger number and then rerunning the program. After you are done exploring, you will be ready to move on to the Challenge 6 video. Press Ctrl S to save your document before moving on.